My Digital Portfolio by Christina Neville. For my final project for my technology class, I created a digital portfolio regarding my experience using technology in the classroom. Part 1. A lesson I taught with technology. I taught a technology lesson to the second graders in my classroom. These students have hearing loss, are English learners, and are all within the English Language Proficiency Level 2 beginning. Since our classroom is a special education classroom, the students receive guided reading instruction daily. This technology lesson started at the guided reading table. I downloaded printable copies of the book from readingatozee.com to use with this guided reading group. As you can see in the picture on the left, these books were titled Building a House. The text and the images guide the reader through the process of building a new home. I focused on 6 main vocabulary words: builders, foundations, pipes, steps, as in a list of things to do, switches, and wires. After 3 days of work with this book and the mentioned vocabulary words, I introduced the technology tool on the Reading A to Z website. I modeled how to use the program for the students by completing the first few words. The students were required to open the website, find their book, and click on the projected view. This enabled an option with user tools. The tools include drawing pen, highlighter, text, color tool, stamp choices, framing tool, and an eraser. I assigned the task of highlighting the 6 words in the text with any color, and then drawing a meaningful illustration next to each. As you can see in the pictures, I have included 2 student examples of the words builders and foundation. Both illustrations show a builder as a person and a foundation as a large rectangular base with supports. I liked this activity as it supported English Language Proficiency Standard 2. English language learners communicate information, ideas, and concepts necessary for academic success in the content area of language arts. My intended goal was to focus on vocabulary expansion for my students, but they seemed to gain speaking and listening practice too, as the students were discussing their work while they were creating. I will use readingatozee.com as a technology tool again in my future. Part 2, a technology tool that I introduced to my class. I introduced a technology tool to my class called Kidspiration 3. A review from the Parents' Choice website describes Kidspiration 3 as this, beginning quote, "There is probably not a more aptly named software title than Kidspiration 3. This latest creation continues to spur children in kindergarten through 5th grade to learn subjects ranging from science and social studies to reading, math, and writing. The program is designed to help students develop strong thinking skills, improve reading and writing, and even build conceptual understanding." End quote. The students began learning about the 5 basic food groups by participating in a unit called Healthy Me. They listened to and read texts, named coordinating foods, and selected balanced meal choices by looking at the recommended daily servings for each food group while making their choices. Under Kidspiration 3's word study section, I selected a graphic organizer within the content of science. This activity reinforces English Language Proficiency Standard 4. English language learners communicate information, ideas, and concepts necessary for academic success in the content area of science. As you can see in the picture, the graphic organizer template had pre-labeled rectangles showing the various food group. These include meat protein group, grains, fruits and vegetables, fats, oils, and sweets, and the dairy group. Under the teacher login for my class, I was able to input specific directions onto the screen by simply typing them into a text box. My directions are typed near the upper left-hand corner. Let me read them to you. Number 1, drag foods into the correct food groups. Number 2, plan a balanced meal by moving foods onto the lunch tray. The students were then allowed to explore the technology tool. I did not model every movement for them. I gave them basic information and exploration time. The students sorted foods into the categories from the picture bank on the right side of the screen. There were too many foods to sort them all onto the digital graphic organizer, so this student put a few in each food group. When the assignment was complete, the students were given the chance to print their balanced food plate. The picture displayed here shows one student's final project. My critique of this program: overall it was great. It offers the users so many academic options in which to use the technology tools that they have provided. Within this specific lesson, I did not like that sweets were included with the fats and oils food group title. To me, that gives a slightly confusing message about sweets and oils being equally needed for the body. I'd also love to see the food group rectangles be color matched to the colors on the food pyramid or my food plate. Part 3. Observe another technology lesson. I observed another technology lesson in a first grade STEM classroom at my elementary school. The STEM lesson was about coding. The goal was to create an understanding of the concept of coding like a computer and then applying it to a technology tool called Scratch Junior. Scratch Junior is an app designed for young children to create and program their own interactive games and stories. To begin the lesson, the teacher projected the codes on the board as shown in the picture on the left. The code options were pick up cup, put down cup, step forward, step backward, turn cup right 90 degrees, turn cup left 90 degrees. The cup needed to be moved from the floor back onto the table. The students took turns giving the teacher codes for this action. The next activity included work with individual iPads. In a very routine way, the students grabbed their iPads, logged on, and opened up the app called Scratch Junior. They entered a class code and could watch the projected computer movements on their individual iPads. The teacher incorporated several effective classroom management techniques during this lesson. She would ask the students to stand behind their chairs, or repeat a clapped pattern, or play a quick game of Simon Says before modeling her direction twice. The students were on task and seemed to be following her directions that were stated and then modeled twice. This seemed most effective because the teacher found a fun and repetitive way to gain her students' attention before instructing. I feel that this type of technology classroom management would work best in an elementary classroom setting. Overall, I appreciated the chance to observe as I learned so much from this other teacher. Part 4, App Recommendation for Students who are English Learners. I would like to recommend a language app used for English learners who are in the primary grades. The app is called ABC Pocket Phonics Lite. It is a free app available from most Play stores. This app offers fun and motivating academic tasks related to letter naming, capital and lowercase letter matching, hands-on letter formation, initial sound sorts, phonemic awareness word manipulations, letter vocabulary words, and sight word formation with reading. This app has a menu of game choices that the user can choose from at any point in their game. I liked that the app will suggest a game for the user to try if that game has not been played in a while. I recently found this app and have not yet used it with students. However, I intend to have this app available on the 3 student iPads that I will have in my classroom for the next year. Using this app as an independent station for some students will allow me to work individually with other students, and then we rotate. This offers me the chance to give instruction that is differentiated for the needs in my classroom. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.